Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Jill.
Morning, thank you.
Would it be okay if we start with the juvenile?
Yes, assuming there's counsel at the jail.
Yeah.
Which one is the juvenile? Is that Powell?
Your Honor, this is Court Interpreter Pedro Davis. Are we in session yet? I don't mean to interrupt.
Yes, we are in session. I don't see any interpreter matters. Can we confirm with the jail? Do we need an interpreter today?
No, Your Honor, we do not.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis. You're excused.
Thank you. I'll log off. Thank you.
All right. Do we have counsel at the jail?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
Thank you. All right, sir, can I get your full name, please?
Trujillo Powell.
Middle name, James?
Yep.
Good morning, Mr. Powell. This is your time set for your initial appearance. I know we've been reset a couple of times. I'm seeing you today on your felony charge for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, alleged to be a domestic violence offense. It's a felony matter. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, sir. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated next to you for purposes of today. I believe this was reset several times because they were trying to confirm some approved housing for you outside of the residence that you were living in with your mother. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report, the most recent one. I believe it says there could be potential housing with uncle in Tempe. I believe the state $1,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would you like to add anything further?
No, Your Honor, state submits on the written record.
Great, thank you. Defense counsel?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. We would argue that, because of his young age and the fact that he lacks any prior criminal history or interactions with this court, we believe that $15,000 bond, which is going to be borne by his family and not by him, is much too high in this case. We would ask in the alternative that a nominal bond be placed of $1,000 secured, or he'd be released to pretrial services. He does have housing. He does have places that he can stay and reside, and they have indicated that they are willing to take care of him while this matter is concluded. So we would ask for a much more nominal bond to this matter.
And other than what's in the pretrial services report, do you know anything else about Uncle in Tempe?
Frankly, Your Honor, no, I don't. I haven't received any information.
All right, I'm going to impose a bond of $1,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Sir, if you post that bond or if you have a family member help you post that bond, you're going to be released to pretrial, no drugs, no alcohol, do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no firearms, monitoring treatment if they tell you to test, etc. Do not have any contact with Joshua Osborne. I think that's your stepdad. Don't have any contact with him. You can have contact with your mom, but not with Mr. Osborne. You'll have to stay somewhere else other than that house. So maybe your uncle's place or somewhere else, okay? Your next court date, sir, is going to be March 31st at 1:30 for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so just keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. This is in felony adult court, okay? So this is serious. You got to make sure you take this, get this taken care of. Keep in contact with the attorney. All right, you understand all that, sir?
Yes.
All right, you're excused for today, Mr. Powell. Thank you.
So it's a secured bond, meaning that the family has to put 10%, so they have to put $100 in cash and the rest in property or vehicles. Okay,
So, like, my mom's not in jail. Like, she's,
I don't know anything about your mother.
like, she picked, like,
I'm terribly sorry. I can't advise you about what's going on with your mother's case. Okay.
that's
That's the bond in your case, and that's what I'm asking is you can call the public.
Counsel, you're not muted.
sorry.
I
Counsel,
understand. Giving him just general information.
all right. Do you have this, the recommendations I sent you though?
You know what? I'm pretty sure I do.
I didn't
Yeah,
know which banner to
I
send
have
them to. Didn't
I'm
know which
sorry.
banner to send them to.
You're good. I do have them. I have them on the chair.
Very good.
Thank you. They're going to take you back.
And defense counsel, can I get your name, please?
Yeah, Jonathan Becker.
Thank you.
Sorry, counsel. I saw Becker. I didn't know which one.
Don't even worry about it. You're fine. I didn't know there were multiple Beckers.
There's a Jennifer, but I don't know what role she fills in the
I
county.
no clue either.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Jose Martin Hurtado.
Good morning, Mr. Artado. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a misdemeanor failure to appear charge for leaving the scene of an accident. Looks like this occurred back in April of 2024, and you missed some court dates, sir. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'm going to set some release conditions for you, sir, because you had a couple court dates that you failed to appear for in Tucson City Court. And it looks like you also have an adult probation hold in Superior Court. So you're going to be held anyways on that thing. So I'm going to issue a bond of $250 in this case. It's going to be cash or secured. Appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. So you're going to have an attorney on your misdemeanor case. Your next court date is going to be March 28th at 1:45 p.m. If you're still in custody, you'll be seen via video. And looks like you also have a civil charge in Tucson City Court that you defaulted in. So just be aware of that. That means you failed to appear for that civil default case as well. All right, your next court date's March 28th, sir. If you fail to appear for court, if you post that bond and the adult probation hold is lifted, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court next week. You understand all that?
Yeah, kind of. So what was my charge? I'm sorry.
It was leaving the scene of an accident. It was,
I thought it took my insurance and everything to the judge and everything.
well, the case was still pending. It's not complete yet. It looks like you missed a couple court dates in March and in February. I'm not sure if you showed up in
Okay.
December, so you'll see Judge Surio on March 28th.
Okay.
All right, you're excused for today, sir. Thank you. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Joshua Isaiah Tapia.
Morning, Mr. Tapia. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a misdemeanor charge of assault out of Pima County Justice Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint Douglas Taylor, to represent you in this case. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir. It looks like you have a Tucson City Court bond already on something else. I'm just seeing you on the Justice Court case today. Because you're already in custody on the Tucson City Court case, I am going to impose a bond in the assault matter, $250 cash or secured. If you do post that, sir, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the named victim in this case. Don't go trying to find him or anything else. Your next court date is actually tomorrow, the 20th at 1 p.m. You'll be seen via video, and then your attorney should be there. If you fail to appear for court, if you post the bond, it's up to you to make sure you show up if you get out of custody. Understand all that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
With the previous. Released, but since this one, it's just, of course, it's being held on 250.
This one is
Bond.
250. Yeah, I think you have a separate bond on the Tucson case.
Okay, but I was released before that, right?
No, this is new. I don't know what happened in the Tucson case, but there's a bond on your Tucson case now, and then this is a new thing that happened, I think, in the jail, I think. So
At the jail, the previous, I was released. I just been inside the jail. That's why I didn't get released, but I was released, correct?
I can't answer that, sir. I see that there's a $500 bond on the Tucson City Court case.
Yeah. And then she said it's something about an additional $2. Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Excuse for today, sir. You'll be seen tomorrow with the judge.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Jeffrey Isaiah Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. So this is the time set for a review hearing on your Maricopa County warrant for narcotic drugs and paraphernalia. I believe you have some stuff locally with Justice Court, a probation violation, and then you have some Superior Court cases in Pima County. Do you know what's happening with your Superior Court cases?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think my attorney came to see me, but not too sure
Okay.
what he was.
Looks like they're still ongoing. Do you know if you have like a plea, change of plea or anything set?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is it
A pre-trial conference,
pre-trial conference and change of plea?
March 24th.
March 24th.
Okay, so that's next week. All right, so we'll reset this review hearing on your Maricopa County warrant to April 21st, 2025 at 9 a.m. Just to see what's going on with the Superior Court stuff locally, okay?
Okay.
All right, your excuse for today, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's a seat that's here for the chair. All around the desk.
Morning, can I get your full name, please?
Dara Elder.
Is your middle name Renee?
One more time.
Is your middle name Renee?
Yeah, Renee Lee.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Ms. Elder. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some misdemeanor charges, disorderly conduct, and assault alleged to be domestic violence out of Marana City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. Ma'am, you currently reside on Orange Grove, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I am going to release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Your next court date is
Yes.
going to be April 23rd at 10 a.m. at the Marana City Court. You're going to get paperwork on the address and all that. April 23rd at 10 a.m. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest, so make sure you show up to that date. Conditions of your release include no drugs, no alcohol, do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, don't have any contact with Kevin Hamlin. He doesn't want contact with you. He's the named victim in the case. Do not have any contact with him while this case is pending. Don't go to his residence or try to find him at work or anything like that. You understand
Yes,
all that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. You're excused for 10 minutes, Elder. Thank you.
All right.
Here it is. All right, ma'am, you want to stand up? Okay. Sit back with the email door. Okay. Mkel, you're up next. You're it.
Please, sir, can I get your full name, please?
Brandon Scott Mkel.
Thank you, Mr. Mkel. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some new misdemeanor charges out of Pima County Justice Court for assault, preventing the use of a telephone in an emergency, and disorderly conduct. They're alleged to be domestic violence offenses. I also see that you have a pending Pima County Justice Court case and some Tucson City Court cases for similar offenses. I'm just here to talk about your Pima County Superior Court new or Pima County Justice Court new charges, but just letting you know you have those other things going on.
Yeah.
All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In this case, I am appointing Doug Taylor to represent you.
Okay.
All right, so it looks like your mother in this case, Darniela Real, she does not want any contact with you in this case, so I'm going to order no contact whatsoever with her.
Okay.
All right, and she has safety concerns, you know, she doesn't want you to have contact.
Yeah.
All right, no, you don't have to tell me anything, all right? And also because you are pending these other cases, sir, I am going to order a bond in this case. It looks like your mother was the named victim in those other pending cases as well. I'm gonna order a bond of $1,000 in this case. It's gonna be cash. All right, no drugs, no alcohol, no acts of domestic violence. If you're able to post that bond, no firearms. Do not have contact with your mother whatsoever while the cases are going on. Your next court date, sir, is gonna be March 20th, so that's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Your attorney will be there. If you're still in custody tomorrow, you'll be seen by video. If you post the bond, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. If you fail to appear for
Oh, so
court,
I can't get released by today.
if you post the bond,
That's at
you post the bond, you can get
$1,000?
released. Yes.
$1,000.
All right. If you fail to show up to court, warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you. You're excused for today.
Cool.
Nino? Oh, yeah.
Morning,
Good morning. Can I get your name, please?
Nino Junior, miss.
Thank you, Ms. Nino. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for a failure to appear out of South Tucson City Court for shoplifting. Also seeing you on Tucson City Court cases, failure to appear for crime trespass, disorderly conduct, drug paraphernalia, additional counts of crime trespass. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. For your South Tucson City Court case, I'm appointing Michael Vaughn to represent you. And on your
Yes,
Tucson
ma'am.
City Court case, sir, I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir, because you have had a number of failures to appear. It looks like the shoplifting is from 2023, so it's kind of old, okay? You got to get
Yeah,
it taken care of. I'm going to order a bond in the South Tucson City Court case of $250 cash. If you do post it, no drugs, no alcohol. Do not go to the business wherever this happened. Your next.
Do you get released? Yes.
No, I'm ordering a bond of $250, sir, because you failed to appear for, all right? Next court date is tomorrow, March 20th at 10 a.m. If you post the bond, it's up to you to make sure you show up. If you're still in custody, no. You have a court date tomorrow on March 20th at 10 a.m. If you're still in jail, the jail will make sure you get seen by video. If you post the bond, then it's up to you to make sure you show up.
Oh.
Okay, if you fail to appear, warrant can issue again. All right, on your Tucson City Court cases, sir. I'm also gonna order a bond of $250. No drugs, no alcohol. Do not go to the incident locations. Next court date is going to be March 28th at 1:45 PM.
Okay.
All right, again, if you fail to appear, warrant can issue again. You want to make sure you get these taken care of. You understand all that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Excuse for today, Mr. Nino.
All right, thank you.
Vote.
Morning.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
James Frederick Rowe.
Thank you. Mr. Rote, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some failures to appear out of Tucson City Court for criminal trespass and littering, and also out of Pima County Justice Court for threatening and intimidating from trespass, disorderly conduct, interference with judicial proceedings. These are all misdemeanors. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On your Pima County Justice Court cases, I'm appointing Doug Taylor to represent you. Okay, and I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office on your Tucson City Court case. All right, sir, I'm going to post some release conditions. You have multiple DV cases going on right now, and looks like you also have, you're actually on probation on a DV case out of Tucson City Court. You have an active order of protection against you with Loreto Trujillo is the one that requested it. All right. And she's the named victim of these new cases as well. So I'm going to order a bond in your justice court case of $1,500 cash. No drugs, no alcohol if you post it, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms, absolutely no contact with Ms. Trujillo. Do not try to find her. Don't go to her house, anything like that. You have the active order protection and it's active for 2 years. So that's still in effect. All right, your next court date for the justice court is going to be March 20th at 1 PM. You're still in custody by tomorrow. The jail will make sure you get seen then, and your attorney will be there. Okay, and then on your Tucson City Court case, that's for the trespass and littering. I've already appointed the Tucson City Public Defender's Office. You had a warrant for your arrest on this case because you failed to appear for court, looks like earlier this year in January. The bond amount that judge said was $250, so I'll honor that bond. It's going to be $250 cash. If you post that bond, don't go to the business of wherever this trespass happened. Your next court date for the Tucson City Court will be March 28 at 1:45 PM. If you're still in custody, the jail will make sure you get seen, but you're going to have an attorney. Right. If you post the bond, sir, you have to make sure you show up or warrant can issue. You understand all that?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You're excused for today, sir. Thank you.
I have no rights. Nobody listens to my side of the story. Nobody. Nobody.
Morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Carla Gutierrez. Carla. I can't.
I hear you. I hear you. Thank you.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I hear you, Mr. Gutierrez. Calm down. Calm down. Okay.
You hit me.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Thank you. Calm down, ma'am. All right. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I am seeing you today on a charge of disorderly conduct, domestic violence. I have to talk to you first. I need to talk to you first. You can ask me questions later, okay? I need to talk to you first. Okay. I'm seeing you today on a charge of disorderly conduct, domestic violence, which is a misdemeanor out of Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In this case, I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. So you're going to have an attorney in this case, ma'am. I do see that you have an immigration hold. So you're gonna be held in custody because of that, all right? I have no control over that. Hold on, I need to tell you all these things first. I will give you a chance to speak at the end. All right, listen to me first. Okay, so did you hear all that you have that immigration hold?
He hit me, he attacked me. He's my son.
We're not here to talk about what happened. This is,
Nothing, ma'am.
we are an open court. We're an open court. You can challenge that later. All right, I'm only going to these conditions.
I don't care.
Okay, so you're muted, so I cannot hear what you're saying, all right? I need to tell you these things. I'm gonna be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. Are you listening to me? You're muted. I don't know who muted it, but,
Well, I can't hear you either, bitch, because you talk too much. You don't let me talk. What?
all right, well, I'm the judge. I need to tell you these things, okay? It is
Why?
required. by law.
You never.
It is
You
required.
never.
by law. I will give you a chance, ma'am. I will give you a chance to speak
Oh,
again.
whenever. Yeah.
I'm going to impose a bond of $100 because you're going to be held in custody for your immigration hold, all right? I'm going to appoint the public defender's
For
office
how
to
long?
represent you. No drugs, no alcohol if you post the bond. Do not commit any further acts of domestic violence. No contact with Jorge Gutierrez at this time. Don't go into his residence. Next one, March 28th at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Maldonado. You're still in custody. The jail will make sure you get seen by video. If you post that bond and the ICE hold lifts, it's up to you to make sure you show up to.
You mean $100?
There's also the time set for your arraignment. You're presumed innocent. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. You're ordered to appear for the March 28th court date and any future court dates. If you fail to appear, warrant can issue, trial can be you. If you're convicted of a trial in your absence and unable to be sentenced within 90 days because you're on warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all that, Ms. Gutierrez? Just like you're seeing me by video, you'll be seen by video if you're still in custody by March 28th. If you post the bond and the ICE hold list, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes,
I was the victim, not him.
I understand that. I understand that, but this is not the place to question that. This is not the place to talk about.
No, no one about attack.
Well, you're gonna have an attorney, ma'am. You can talk to your attorney about that, okay? You can talk to your attorney about that.
I mean, you can kill me and everything, just that I'm making no.
All right, you have an attorney, you're gonna get an attorney, and you can talk to your attorney about what actually happened and that you were victimized. You can talk to your attorney.
Look, myself, he took myself from my phone.
Your Honor, is she done?
Yes.
How long am I gonna be today? I need
Your
to
next
know.
court date is March 28th, next week, ma'am.
Is that how you say it? Yeah. Yeah, you see what taking your push.
Morning, can I get your full name, please? Sorry, one more time, your full name?
80.
Oh, ma'am, what is your full name?
The full name?
No, your full first and last name.
Here's the phone number. That's
No, not your phone number, your first and your last name.
My name.
Yes.
Abuk. The first name Abuk. The last name is Tong.
Abuk Tong?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some misdemeanor charges of assault and disorderly conduct, domestic violence out of Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So ma'am, in this case, the alleged victim is, I believe, your husband, Deng Dal. He's okay with you coming back home. He's okay with having contact with you. So he's inviting you to come back home. So you can go back home if you'd like. I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. So you have to get this taken care of, but I'm releasing you today. Conditions include, do not commit any further acts of domestic violence, no fighting at home, no drugs, no alcohol. Your next court date, ma'am, is going to be April 15th at 1:30 p.m. You'll get paperwork on this when you get released from jail. April 15th, 1:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court in front of Judge Millian. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue, and you might get stuck in jail again. So make sure you show up to court, all right?
Alright.
And a trial can go without you if you're on warrant status. If you're convicted at a trial within 90 days and not able to be sentenced, if you're convicted at a trial in your absence and unable to be sentenced within 90 days because you're on warrant status, you may lose your right to direct appeal. So it's in your best interest, show up to court, get taken care of. Do you understand all that?
Hmm?
Do you understand all that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, your next court date is April 15th at 1:30. You'll get paperwork on it. Also, this is the time set for your arraignment. You're presumed innocent, so I will enter not guilty pleas for you. All right, you're excused for today, ma'am. Thank you.
You're good, man. You can go back out there, say with the females again, okay?
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Malik Christopher Brandon.
Thank you. Mr. Brandon, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some felony charges for conducting a chop shop, theft of means of transportation, and burglary in the third degree, which are all felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I have reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. Mr. Amados Tejas, I believe from the Attorney General's office, or Tejas Amado is present from the Attorney General's office. Looks like state's recommending 2,500. State, would you like to add anything further?
Your Honor, can I ask which, I missed the name, I apologize. Is this
This
Mr. Brandon?
Yes, Malik Brandon, yes.
Your Honor, we'll rest on this written recommendation.
All right, thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would argue here that Mr. Brandon is very young. He is only 18 years old. He has no priors. He has no previous court interaction at all. He is currently employed as well. I understand that the nature of these charges sound drastic, but there were only, 6 cars. There was a bunch of very young people doing something stupid. And he has been living here, his entire life. I don't think that there is a risk to the community here. And I certainly don't think that there is any risk that Mr. Brandon would flee at any time. He could also stay with his grandmother, who if I'm correct, would be able to assume third-party custody of him at this time. Just because of all of those factors, we would ask for him to be released to pretrial services. In the alternative, if the court thinks a bond is appropriate, we would ask for a nominal $1,000 to $2,000 bond.
All right, thank you, counsel. I do think the bond is appropriate. 2,500 cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Sir, if you post that bond, no drugs, no alcohol, do not drive without a valid driver's license, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact whatsoever with any of the named victims of any of the vehicles involved or the burglaries involved. Do not go to the incident location, that Airbnb. No contact with the co-defendants during pendency of the case. That includes Sabina Medina, Edson Bajorquez Fimbras, Brandon Ortiz Gonzalez, and Tristan Russell Gabriel Scott. So your next court date is going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Brandon? All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Hey.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Caleb Felipe Medina.
Thank you, Mr. Medina. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some felony charges for possession of narcotic drugs for sale and possession of a weapon during a felony drug offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And you have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's recommendation, written recommendation is $5,000. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
Your Honor, he was caught with dealer quantity of substances, and we're looking at a person who's also caught with a firearm that he didn't declare. And based on that, and given his age, Your Honor, we believe 5,000 is appropriate.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Becker, if you could confirm whether Mr. Medina is a student?
Yes, Your Honor. Give me 1 second. Yes, Your Honor. He's currently a student at Centennial Peak High School. He is on track to graduate, what was it, this year?
This year, yeah, in May, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, so he would be graduating in May. And I'd argue that this, holding him on bond without pre-trial services would significantly impact his ability to get a GED or, yeah, some 18s.
Anything else you wanted to add, Mr. Becker?
Yeah, absolutely. Apologies, Your Honor. I'd also like to highlight that the NCA and the FTA are very low here, the 2 and 1 respectively. He has no priors, no previous court interaction. His mother confirmed that he does have an address. He has a place that he can stay if he's released. And also, Your Honor, I understand that the nature of the offense does sound drastic. However, it's for a marijuana charge, which it is under a gray zone here. And I would argue that this is not some substantial, fentanyl or methamphetamine drug trafficking or anything like that. I would argue that the stakes are much lower here. He's a full-time Tucson resident. And I don't think that there's any fear of him absconding from the court at this time. So we would ask that he just be fully, and also due to his age, we ask that he be released to pre-trial services or a nominal bond was given.
Your Honor, the state would retort that this is not just marijuana, it's THC vapes, dealer quantities, and these THC vapes, the provenance of what is in these things is not known. He's not even out of high school, and he's already toting around a firearm while selling drugs illegally.
All right, thank you both, counsel. All right, Mr. Medina, I am going to release you to pretrial services. You're going to stay with your mom's house, okay, at the Nadito place. Stay with your mom. Stay in school, go to all your classes. Those are going to be conditions of your release. All right. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms. I don't know if you have any more at home, but you need to give them over to law enforcement if you have any more at home. Monitoring your treatment as directed by pretrial. If they tell you to test, you test. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
You're to appear for all future court dates as well. If you fail to appear, warrant can issue. This gets serious because you're in felony land, right? You're in adult court. Okay, your next court date is going to be April 8th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so make sure you keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, warrant can issue for your arrest, and you don't want that. You understand all those consequences, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Medina. You're excused for today.
You're mute, Judge.
Yes, I did that intentionally. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Edson Guillermo Ortiz Fimbras.
Thank you, Mr. Borges Fimbres. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some felony charges of conducting a chop shop, theft of means of transportation, and burgling the third degree. These are all felony matters. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing Nicholas Brereton to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, sir. I've read the pretrial services report, the interim complaint, the Attorney General's written recommendation appears to be 2,500. Ms. Tejas Amado, anything further you'd like to add?
No, Your Honor, we'll submit on the written recommendation.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would argue once again here that Mr. Yorquez Fimbres is very young. He is once again only 18 years old. He has no priors, no court contact. He will likely, if released, live with his uncle Edgo, who is willing to provide transport and assume third-party custody. His MCA and FDA scores are also incredibly low here. We would recommend pretrial services at this time. However, if the court thinks amount is appropriate, we would ask for a nominal $1,000 secured bond.
Thank you. Do you think a bond is appropriate due to the fact of this case? Mr. Borges Fimbres, I'm going to issue a bond of $2,500, cash or secured, release to pretrial if posted. If you conditions include don't drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact with the named victims in this case of the vehicle owner, the burglary victim. Don't go back to the Airbnb, the incident location. No contact with your co-defendants while this case is going on. That includes Sabina Medina, Brandon Ortiz Gonzalez, Tristan Russell, Gabriel Scott, and Malik Brandon. Don't talk to them while this case is going on, all right? Okay, your next court date's going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m., which is a preliminary hearing date. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with Mr. Brereton. He'll keep you apprised of future court dates. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today, Mr. Borges Fimbres.
She said all the co-defendants to be keep separate from each other. Okay. I'm Brandon.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Walter Cochran.
Do you have a middle name, Len?
Yes, Lynn.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a new felony charge of possession of a dangerous drug, which is a felony matter, and also a misdemeanor for failure to appear, domestic violence, criminal trespass, and interference with judicial proceedings, which are misdemeanors out of Pima County Justice Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On the felony matter, I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm setting some release conditions for you today, sir. I reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. The state is indicating this is a steps eligible case. Mr. Poston, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything further you'd like to add?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Poston. And Mr. Becker, if you could confirm with Mr. Cochran, if he has housing, the pretrial services has a general delivery.
All right, give me 1 second, Your Honor. He has confirmed that he has apartment he can stay at here.
Okay. All right, Mr. Becker, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think we're in agreement here with the state that pretrial services is appropriate.
All right, so Mr. Cochran, the state has a pre-indictment diversion program called STEPS. It's for substance abuse treatment and counseling. Would you be interested in potentially participating in that? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Becker, waive time to push out the preliminary hearing date?
We do, Your Honor.
Thank you. So, Mr. Cochran, I'm going to release you to the third-party custody pretrial services. All right. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Don't go to the incident location. Your next court date is March 26th. That's for the STEPS hearing at Pima County Superior Court. That's next Wednesday, actually. So it's a week from today, 9 a.m. on the 3rd floor. So you'll find out if you are approved for this diversion program at that point. If you don't show up, they're not going to consider you. So make sure you show up. 26 at 9 a.m. And the preliminary hearing date is going to be pushed back to May 5th at 1:30 so that you could participate in this program if you're approved. All right. In terms of your misdemeanor case out of Pima County Justice Court, I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for that case. Your next court date for that will be April 9th at 9 a.m. You'll get paperwork on all this before you're released from custody. No drugs, no alcohol, do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no firearms, no contact with the named victim in that case. Don't try to go find the victim at their residence or their workplace. Again, if you fail to appear for court warrant can issue, just make sure you take these, get these taken care of. You understand all that,
Okay.
sir?
Yes, I do.
All right, you're excused for today. Thank you, Mr. Cochran.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank you.
We could go back up. Cota?
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Alfredo Cota here.
Good morning, Mr. Cota. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a bench warrant out of Maricopa County for possession of dangerous drugs. Looks like you had a failure to appear at a pretrial conference on February 11th of this year. And then there was a motion to quash filed. You had a scheduled status conference 2 days ago. You have a pretrial conference April 10th and scheduled trial April 17th.
Right. Going up there to Phoenix, it's hard to get a ride up there.
Have you talked to your attorney about trying to get like a telephonic appearance or video appearance?
Yes, I did, man. She didn't even know that I lived in Tucson.
Okay.
She did not know that.
Do you know if the judges up there let you appear telephonically or by video?
I'm not too sure, man, but I don't know. I asked her that. That was then for yesterday. She said she was gonna see what she could do, and I haven't spoken to her since because I'm in here now.
Okay.
On the phone.
Well, I would suggest reaching out again. Okay. I am going to release you today, sir, because the bond amount is only $50. You're in contact with your attorney. It's just you can't make it up there. So physically, at least. I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. There is no future court date other than what we have right now, which is April 10th. Like you have a pretrial on April 10th and then a trial date April 17th. But you want to get this warrant quashed, okay? So
Yes, ma'am. She was trying to do that for me too, man.
okay. So call your attorney when you get out. I'm going to release you today, and then have her call the court and see if you can appear via phone or via video or something like that since you live down here.
Sure will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your excuse for today, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Falconer? Art? Huh? What's your last name? Falconer? Take a seat. Oh, wait, hold on. Ma'am, the one that's up next, Falconer, he is not ready yet. Would you mind moving on to the next one?
That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay.
Morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Oscar Ariel Label Kempa, good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Leyva Campa. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for warrant out of Maricopa County. The charges look like sale of the transportation of marijuana, possession of marijuana for sale, possession of narcotic drugs, misconduct involving weapons, possession of drug paraphernalia. You also have some local charges out of Tucson City Court for criminal trespass, resisting arrest, and drug paraphernalia. We'll talk about your Maricopa County case first, and then we'll talk about the Tucson City Court case.
Okay.
The Maricopa cases alleged to have occurred in 2018.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me
I
say my
think-
things. Let me say my things, and then you can speak later if you have any questions or anything, additional information. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. All right, so I gotta set some release conditions for you, sir. On the Maricopa County case, it looks like you were released on bond back in September of 2021, and this case has been in a warrant since then. Did you know that you had a warrant on the Maricopa case?
I didn't know that. I had contact before this and they never let me know that I was there. That's why yesterday struck me when they got me in on this.
Okay.
I've been in the same residence. I've been hidden anywhere. I live in the same place for the whole time. Never moved, and never same number, never.
Yeah, it looks like the arraignment was back in 2018, released to pretrial. You had a sentencing. You failed to appear at the sentencing in 2019.
It's been a weird case because the case got dropped and then it got reopened a year later, and it's been like that the whole time. Like it's I've been in contact with my attorney, and my attorney's been the one telling me what to do and what not to do. I just haven't talked to him in a couple of months, to be honest.
A couple months or a couple of
Yes.
years?
No, months. My attorney I've talked to, Corey Scott. I was just hoping I could get released to maybe like a rehab or something. I want to go take care of my addiction and then go.
But we're here to talk about that, at least for this case, because it's out of Maricopa. Okay, I only have certain things I can do out of the case because it's out of Maricopa and looks like it was a sentencing that you failed to appear for a couple years ago. Okay. I'm going to pose a bond in this case, sir, because you got to get that sentencing taken care of. Okay, so I'm going to pose a bond of $5,000, cash or secured. The jurisdiction, so Maricopa County Sheriff's Office has 3 days to take you back to Maricopa, basically, to get that case taken care of. If they don't, then you're going to be released if they don't take you back within 72 hours. All right, so I'm going to set this.
If I get the bond paid before that, then release for that.
If you get the bond paid before that, you get released. You need to call Maricopa County to get that warrant quashed and get the case taken care of. Otherwise, the warrant's just going to be out there. Okay, I'm going to reset this to next Wednesday, March 26th at 9 a.m. to see where we're at, see if Maricopa County picked you up or not. Okay. Oh, it's for misdemeanors. Oh, sorry. So I will.
I don't. So that's something. Oh, yes.
All right, I'm being told that the 72-hour thing is for misdemeanor, so they might need a little more time to arrange transport. So I'm going to reset it to April 2nd for review hearing at 9 a.m. They have 2 weeks to see to pick you up? Okay,
But,
all right. For the Tucson City Court case, sir, since I'm holding you on this other stuff, I am going to impose a bond of, actually, no.
Oh, can lower that bond? I have to know that there's two. There's no way we can lower that Maricopa bond number?
Okay, so on your city court case, sir, I am going to release you on your own promise to appear, but because you have a bond on the Maricopa thing, I'm going to appoint counsel for you. So you're going to have Tucson City Public Defender's Office.
Is there any way to lower the bond for the Maricopa case so I can pay it?
No, mine has been made up for that, so it's gonna be 5,000. The case has been going on for like over 5 years now. You've been on warrant status, so you got to get that taken care of and get the sentencing taken care of. All right, the next court date for the Tucson City Court will be May 16 at 9 a.m. Hopefully, the Maricopa case is all resolved by then. You're going to be hopefully be out of custody and get that resolved. The only conditions on the Tucson City Court case, again, your ROR on that one, you will have an attorney for that one, is don't go to the incident location and no drugs, no alcohol.
Okay.
All right, understand all that?
Yeah.
All right, we're
Thank
excused
you.
for today. Thank you.
okay, we can take you here.
I,
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
I'm sorry,
Can I get your full name, please?
Mark Tanner Falconer.
Thank you, Mr. Falconer. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a felony charge of aggravated driving under the influence. Also seeing you on a failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court for a misdemeanor driving under the influence. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. For your felony matter, I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint, and the state's written recommendation is $7,500 in bonds. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
Your Honor, 5 out of 6 already on release and FTA for a misdemeanor DUI, and post Miranda, he admitted drinking a quart of vodka. He's a danger to the community, has no problem drinking and driving, and this one he was so drunk that he was damn near unconscious.
All right, thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would argue, Mr. Falconer has his last, besides the city court DUI, his last interactions with the court were in 1993 in Missouri. I understand the nature of the offense, these offenses. However, I'd argue that Mr. Falconer is homeless. He's a man of little means. And if we impose a $7,500 bond, that's the same as posting no bond. There's no way he's going to ever be able to pay it. And the purpose of bond here is to ensure that somebody shows up to all their future court hearings. So in the alternative, we're going to ask for a much lower bond here, one that's feasible, but that is still a substantial amount that he would be, willing to not lose it by absconding. So in the alternative, Your Honor, we would ask for a $250 nominal secured bond.
All All right, thank you. The court does have concerns that Mr. Falconer was pending a DUI when arrested for a new DUI. On the felony matter, I'm going to pose a bond of $4,000, cash or secured, release to pretrial if posted, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment is directed by pretrial, do not drive without a valid driver's license. Mr. Falconer, your next court date for the felony matter is March 31st at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with your attorney. If you post bond or release by then, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. A failure to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest, as you well know for the misdemeanor case. So now going on to the misdemeanor case, sir, the original the Justice Court judge that issued the warrant included amount of $24.99 for the bond amount. So I will honor that bond amount of $24.99, cash or secured. Same terms of do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol. I will appoint counsel for you on your Justice Court case. It's going to be Douglas Taylor. Your next court date is actually tomorrow, March 20th at 1 p.m. for the misdemeanor. If you fail to appear for court, warrant can issue for your arrest if you post those bonds or are released before then. Understand all that, sir? You do not understand?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Falconer. All right, you're excused for today, sir.
Sabina, Anthony.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Anthony Miguel Medina.
Thank you, Mr. Medina. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some felony charges, post indictment out of Pima County Superior Court and CR 2025-0540 for aggravated DUI and possession of narcotic drugs. Post indictment CR 2024-4010 for aggravated DUI. These are both felonies. And then you have a new arrest for felonies, possession of narcotic drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. And you also have a Tucson City Court matter, misdemeanor failure to appear for domestic violence assault. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office for your felony matters, also appointing the Tucson City Public Defender's Office for your Tucson City Court matters. Additions for you, sir. We'll start with the felonies. I reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report, and the state's recommendations. Looks like the state is recommending $7,500 concurrent on the post-indictment matters, DUIs, and then on the new arrest, recommending $5,000. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
State submits on the record.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Poston, just to clarify for me, for the steps eligibility, even though someone is pending other felony matters that are not steps eligible, a person can be screened?
Considering his background history, no.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Becker.
So, Your Honor, I think recently with these DUIs, we've been running into a problem where a defendant is arrested and they dismiss all of the charges, and then at a much later time, they refile those charges, and that leads to, if their mailing address is different, or they moved, or they have a different phone number, or a variety of cases, it becomes a surprise for them that the case gets refiled and that they get picked up on a warrant without their knowledge. And I think that's what happened to Mr. Medina here. He got an arrest on, August of 2023, and that wasn't refiled until February of 2025. He has another arrest in 2024 that wasn't refiled until 6 months later, and he's been picked up on this now. And these are all, they're curveballs, for lack of a better term. They're surprises. I don't think Mr. Medina here had any intent to abscond or run away. It's just the fact that a year later, his case is getting refiled. And somebody's missing the ball somehow. I don't think that should be held against Mr. Medina. I understand that the state has up to 7 years to refile these cases. But the fact of the matter is waiting for a year for a criminal charge, you know, it is going to cause some crosses in the wiring. It's going to cause some problems. But I don't think, once again, that should be held against Mr. Medina here. He has a residence here. His mom is willing to absorb third-party custody of him. He's a lifelong resident of Tucson. He's currently employed as a full-time contractor. And we would argue that, you know, a release of pretrial services is sufficient. And in the alternative, a much lower bond of $1,000.
Thank you, Mr. Becker. And I'm familiar with what you're telling me, sir, because I do handle arraignments as well. Sorry, Mr. Poston, were you going to say something?
Yes, Your Honor. How many times is the person going to be allowed to drive drunk without there being some sort of bond in place? And he works as a laborer, so presumably he has to get from point A to point B every morning to get to the job site. And is he going to be taking the bus? Is he going to somehow get there with mom? Because the fact is, it's a fairly toothless situation. If he's got this many DUIs, he's going to go out and presumably drive, because we're not a very transit-friendly city. This person represents a risk. He has repeatedly gotten drunk and behind the wheel.
All right, thank you, Mr. Poston. I do see from the Superior Court records that the summons were sent to 4750 South Campbell Avenue, apartment 505, which is also the address on the booking sheet of the pretrial services report. Mr. Becker, if you can confirm with Mr. Medina, is that his address on Campbell?
You know, go back over there to my mom's on how that.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any-
So, Your Honor, he does not currently reside at that address. He is residing with his grandmother, who is on Missouri Avenue.
And I wasn't told of any paperwork or anything sent to the previous residence where I was at.
Okay. Mr. Medina, whose address is on Campbell? Who lives there?
That's gonna be my mother's address where I want to go back to. It will stay there.
You're saying your mom never told you that you got mail?
But she never told me anything about it. I've never received anything. I usually pick up mail from there, but I've never gotten any paperwork from the courts there. So that's why I was kind of confused with the whole warrants that they said that I had when I was just unaware of it. Or else I would have went to the courts like I should have.
All right. All right, on your new matter, sir, for the new arrest, I'm going to impose a bond of $1,000, cash or secured, release to pretrial if posted. That's the narcotic, drugs, and paraphernalia. If you post that bond, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment is directed by pretrial. The in-custody preliminary hearing date is March 31st at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so make sure you keep in contact with the attorney and they'll let you know if that date changes. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest.
Are there already court dates for these other?
Yeah.
Let's talk. Well, we're going to talk about the DUIs now.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to impose a bond concurrent on the two CR numbers that are post-indictment, 2,500, concurrent with each other. Cash or secured, release to pretrial if posted. Again, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms. Monitoring treatment is directed by pretrial. Your next court date will be at the Pima County Superior Courthouse on March 26th at 1:30 p.m. for criminal arraignment. If you post the bond, make sure you show up for the arraignment. They always reset these at least a couple times when a summons gets sent out. So there's no note in the file to indicate that it was returned mail or anything like that. Okay. It's up to you to make sure you check your mail. Even if your mom is not telling you, it's up to you to make sure you check your mail at that address, if that's the address you have with the court.
Yes.
Your Honor, for clarification, is the $1,000 bond also concurrent with the 2,500?
I cannot do that because of the different status. Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You understand all that, Mr. Medina?
Yes.
All right. On your Tucson City Court cases, these are for the failures to appear for assault DV and disorderly conduct DV. Looks like the last court date you failed to appear was July of 2024. Appointing the Tucson City Public Defender's Office. Impose a $250 bond on that case, cash or secured. No contact with the alleged victim in that case. Don't try to find them. No drugs, no alcohol. Do not commit any acts of domestic violence. Next court date for Tucson City is March 28th at 1:45 p.m. If you post all your bonds, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. If you're in custody, the jail will make sure you get seen.
Okay.
All right, you understand all that, sir?
Yes.
All right, you gotta get these taken care of. Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Yeah.
Morning, can I get your name, please?
Brianna Sabina Medina.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some felony charges for conducting a chop shop, theft of means of transportation, and burglary in the third degree. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, Ms. Medina. I've reviewed the pretrial service report, the interim complaint. The Attorney General states written recommendation. It looks like release to pretrial. Ms. Reyes Amado, anything further to add?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
Nothing from us, Your Honor. She's being released from trial services.
All right, thank you. I agree that this is appropriate. Ms. Medina, I'm going to release you today from jail to pretrial services. Conditions include do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment directed by pretrial. If they tell you to test, go test. No contact with any of the alleged victims, the owner of the vehicles or the burglary. Do not go back to that Airbnb. Don't go back to that incident location where you were arrested. No contact with your co-defendants during the pendency of the case. That includes Edison Bajorquez Fimbras, Brandon Ortiz Gonzalez, Tristan Russell, Gabriel Scott, Malik Brandon. Don't talk to them while this case is going on. It's in your best interest not to talk to them. All right, your next court date, ma'am, is going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so just keep in contact with your attorney. Failed to appear for court, a warrant can issue. All right, you understand all that, ma'am?
I do.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Medina. You're excused for today.
So.
Olivos.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Olivos.
Thank you, Olivos. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on one count of transportation for narcotics for sale, which is a felony. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. We're going to set some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. State's written recommendation is $2,500. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I argue here that Mr. Olivos is very young, but his NCA is 2. His failure to appear is 1. Very low scores on both ends. He has no priors or, previous interactions with this court. I understand the nature of the offense. However, I once again want to reiterate that these are marijuana and THC pens, and the nature of them is much less detrimental than other harder, more dangerous drugs. In that case, we would ask that he be released from jail services. If not, we ask that a nominal bond of $1,000.
And sir, you live with your mother in Yavapai Street?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to release you to the third-party custody pretrial services. Conditions include that you stay with your mother. No drugs, no alcohol whatsoever, no firearms, monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial. If they tell you to go test, you have to go test. All right. Your next court date, sir, is going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m. or excuse me, April 8th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so make sure you keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest, and you want to get this taken care of. You understand all that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Your excuse for today.
I apologize, Your Honor. I think I got myself confused here. The next court date is on April 8th, or is it on March 25th? Okay, thank you.
Ortiz? Ortiz?
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Brandon Ortiz Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz Gonzalez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some felony charges for conducting a chop shop, theft of means of transportation, and burgling the 3rd degree, which are all felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing Chris Kimenow to represent you. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report. The Attorney General's written recommendation appears to be $25,000. Ms. Teas-Amato, do you want to be heard further?
Your Honor, I know that this is substantially more than I have asked for on the defendants. The reason is that Mr. Ortiz Gonzalez was initially arrested back in October for similar charges. There were 11 cars seized at his home address. Those were stolen, contained stolen parts, or were otherwise associated with the street crew who kind of organizes the street takeovers, the street racing, and the using of those stolen parts and vehicles. So given that his role is across kind of the whole criminal activity, we are asking for a substantially higher bond of $25,000 plus release to pretrial services if the bond is posted, as well as the other conditions that you have been imposing.
All right, thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would argue that all of these are just merely allegations. The state has not indicted him on any of these other alleged chop shop matters. So I would ask that the court take that into consideration. I'd also argue that he's been living here in Tucson his entire life. He has a residence. He stays with his mom. Should be willing to assume some third-party custody. He has no prior felony convictions. I understand that the state's asking for a substantially larger bond here, but $25,000 is an incredibly large bond for somebody who has no prior history here. We would ask that he do be released to pretrial services. And in the alternative, we ask that he be held on the same bond as the other co-defendants in this matter. I think it was $2,500 secured.
All right, thank you. I did note the interim complaint included some additional information about the other investigation. I do think a bond is appropriate in this matter. I'll issue a bond of $5,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Mr. Ortiz Gonzalez, if you post that bond or are released, do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Do not go back to the incident location, that Airbnb, do not go back there. No contact with any of the co-defendants during pendency of this case. Brianna Medina, Edison Bojorquez Fimbras, Tristan Russell, Gabriel Scott, Malik Brandon. Don't talk to them while this case is going on. Your next court date, Mr. Ortiz Gonzalez, is going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go, so make sure you keep in contact with Mr. Kimino. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Vamos, Olivos y los pelotas.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Domingo Ramos Jr.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Ramos. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a felony charge of possession of narcotic drugs for sale. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is $10,000. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
Excuse me, other than he has a history of prison for drug sales and forgery. So the risk is, I think, greater than the 3-3 would say otherwise.
All right, thank you. Mr. Becker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would argue here that Mr. Ramos's criminal history has stayed in his past. His last conviction was in 2013, 12 years ago. Additionally, Your Honor, looking at the interim complaint and facts of this case, I do question the validity of that search, mainly just because they were there for a death call, and then somehow they gained access to his car. I do find that concerning on some level, but I'm not gonna delve any deeper than that. I certainly will take that into consideration. He has a residence that he can stay at as well. This is, his NCAA and FTA are still 3. They're still very low. We argue that he be released to pretrial services today. I don't think he's a flight risk. He has, the ability to stay in Tucson and go to court. And the alternative, if court thinks that bond is appropriate, we ask for annulment.
All right, thank you. I do think a bond is appropriate in this matter. I'm going to order a bond of $10,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Conditions include Mr. Ramos, no drugs, no alcohol if you post that bond or are released, no firearms whatsoever, monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. Your next court date, sir, is going to be March 31st at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with the legal defender. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ramos. You're excused for today.
Rapola? Rapola?
Good morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Pamela Rapola.
Middle name K?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, thank you. Ms. Rapola, I'm seeing you today for your initial appearance. There's some felony charges post-indictment out of Superior Court in CR 2023-2129 for possession of narcotic drugs, possession of dangerous drugs, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Also seeing you today on some city court matters for failure to appear, criminal trespass. These are all from 2023. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. For the felony matter, I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you today, ma'am. I've reviewed the interim complaint and the pretrial services report. The state's written recommendation is to affirm the original warrant amount that was issued from the prior judge, which is $2,500. Mr. Poston, anything further to add?
Think further.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
Your Honor, I would like to highlight that, Ms. Rapola here did mention that she was unable to go to a court because of an abusive partner that she had. And I do find that concerning in regards to, if somebody's being actively prevented from showing up to their court hearings. So I would ask that at this time she be released to pretrial services or being held on a much more nominal bond of $500. So that way, she can ensure that she is going to future court hearings. And that's all from us.
Thank you. All right, on the felony matter, I'm going to impose a bond of $500, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial. Your next court date, ma'am, for the felony is going to be March 26th. That's next week at 1:30 p.m. for criminal arraignment at the Superior Courthouse. All right, if you fail to appear for court, you know what happens. Another warrant will issue, so make sure you show up next week. If you're still in custody, the jail will make sure you get seen. You understand all that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, on your city court matter, I'm also going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office because you're being held. It looks like the failure to appear was back in July of 2023 after you're released in June of 2023. So this is an older case. All right, I'm going to impose a bond of $250 cash in that matter. If you do post it, conditions include not possess any alcohol or drugs, no contact with the named victims of the trespass, don't go back to the incident location. Your next court date for Tucson City Court is going to be March 28 at 1:45 p.m. If you're still in custody, the jail will make sure you get seen. If you're out of custody, it's up to you to make sure you show up to court. You understand all that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, these are old cases, so you want to make sure you get them taken care of. Your excuse for today.
Thank you.
Your Honor, was the $500 a secured or a cash? Sorry.
Cash or secured for the felony case.
Thank you.
Vegas.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Joao Anthony Rodriguez.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some fugitive warrant matters out of New Mexico. The felony charges are from 2022 and 2024. The 2022 one is for armed robbery and larceny. The 2024 one is for aggravated battery against a household member, larceny, and aggravated battery, which is a misdemeanor. And then we have some new charges out of Pima County Superior Court for possession of narcotic drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia. And you also have a failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court for an assault misdemeanor. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney for the felony charges and the fugitive matter. I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. Also going to appoint Doug Taylor to represent you in the Pima County Justice Court case. All right, I'm going to be setting some release conditions for you, sir, all separately from the new charge, felony, the fugitive, and the Justice Court case. I've reviewed the interim complaint, the pretrial services report, the state's written recommendation looks like for the new arrest is 5,000 and for the fugitive is 15,000. Mr. Poston, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Becker?
So, Your Honor, he's already being held on these New Mexico court cases in the bond. My understanding is at least $2,500 plus $10,000. I mean, that's a substantial bond amount anyways. So we would ask that at least for the Pima County and Justice Court matters, that in the alternative, a nominal bond be given because he's already going to be held on those New Mexico matters anyways, and they're already over $10,000.
Mr. Becker, where are you seeing the amounts for the fugitive matters? Because I am going to impose bonds on those today as well for the fugitive case.
Oh, you know what, Your Honor? I am incredibly sorry. I am reading the Pima County amounts. That's my apologies. So I unfortunately have to backtrack on everything that I said on those matters. However, I would argue that he's still likely going to be held anyways on those New Mexico matters. I imagine that, you know, as soon as these go, he'll be extradited to New Mexico anyways to settle his matters over there. So we would ask, regardless, that a nominal bond be posted.
Thank you. So on the new felony matter for the narcotic drugs and paraphernalia, imposing a bond of $1,000, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring treatment as directed. Next court date for that is up at 1:30. That date may or may not go, so keep in contact with the legal defender. All right, for the fugitive matter, it looks like Mr. Rodriguez, you've been in Pima County a couple times on these matters and extradited, but then somehow missed court again, and so warrants were issued again. So I do think a high bond is appropriate in the fugitive matter. The state was recommending 15,000, so I agree that 15,000 is appropriate. Okay, that's going to be cash or secured. Again, released to pretrial if posted. Same conditions apply. The next court date for that will be March 24th at 2:30 p.m. at the Pima County Superior Court for fugitive matter to review that fugitive warrant. All right, on your justice court case, sir, an order bond of All right, I'm gonna take a chance at you, sir. Said you have a phone, you have a place to stay, you know how to contact pretrial now, so you gotta show up to court, make sure you get this taken care of. All right, I'm gonna release you to pretrial services. Conditions include do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact with the named victims of the auto theft. Don't try to go find them or anything like that. Your next court date is next Wednesday, March 26th at 1:30 p.m. It's going to be on the 3rd floor of the Superior Court House. Okay, 1:30 p.m. next Wednesday. You have to get there a little bit early to check in.
Okay.
Okay? If you fail to appear for court, you know what happens. The warrant's going to issue again. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Understand all that, sir?
Yes.
All right. You're excused for today. Thank you. And I think that is all. Can we confirm with the jail?
Yep. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.